Welcome to episode 422 of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. I am Dave Deacon, and if we got a great episode for you, you're going to walk away learning a lot of stuff, I promise. As you probably already know, we took the show on the road a couple of weeks ago and headed up to Wichita for High Plains Journal Live. We had a great time talking with a lot of producers from Oklahoma and Kansas who were attending some great sessions and chatting with some industry folks from all over the region. In the coming weeks, we have a few more episodes left from our conversations with folks that we recorded with at High Plains Journal Live, so stay tuned for all of those. But this week, we're talking with Dusti Gallagher, CEO of Heartland Plant Innovations, who's helping reshape the future of wheat breeding. From double-haploids to biotech advances, she breaks down how those tools are accelerating variety developments and bringing real value to breeding programs across the country. If you're new to the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast, I'd like to welcome you and invite you to hit that follow button where you get your podcasts. Now, just a reminder, you will be able to find all of the information we talk about on this episode and our past episodes on our website, reddirtagronomy.com. So let's kick things off with a quick trip around the booth with an introduction to the dream team of dirt and everything that grows from it. Let's start with Oklahoma State University Extension Precision Nutrient Management Specialist.
I'm air quoting on a freaking podcast with no video. Air quotes.
Dr. Brian Arnell. And across from him is a postdoctorate in the Plant and Soil Sciences Department at Oklahoma State.
Plant breeding, flashbacks, slight sadness.
Dr. Radon Sherry. With all the formalities out of the way, let's kick off our conversation with Dusti Gallagher of Heartland Plant Innovations that was recorded just a couple of weeks ago at High Plains Journal Live. So, without further ado, on to the episode. You are listening to the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast.
We're happy to have on today Dusti Gallagher, with the CEO of Heartland Plant Innovations.
Oh, good point. I need to bring my name
and
tag around, too.
And you are, again, Dave Deacon with the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast.
Like that, yeah.
And we are the High Plains Journal Live event. And grabbing people randomly off the street or the lunch table, as it happened today.
I was going to say we had a nice lunch table.
Yeah. I've made the mistake of following Aaron Harry, and it gets me in trouble every single time.
Every time. So, Dusti, tell us a little bit about what you do at Heartland Plant Innovations.
Okay, so we are a biotech company that we accelerate breeding of wheat and other crops. So we work with a lot of the breeding programs, universities, and private companies, and we have a number of technologies and services that we use very early in the breeding process that helps the breeders really accelerate what they do. So one of our core businesses is double-haploid technology. So we usually get early generation F1 seeds from the breeders. We put them through our double-haploid technology production system, and a year later we give them double haploids that they can go directly into the field, into hedgerows, and it helps them evaluate what they have at a very early stage, and then they can carry that forward through their breeding program for forward breeding, back crosses, etc. So it's just a way to get pure material back to the breeding program so they can do what they do to create new varieties.
For a soil scientist, explain what double haploid is.
Okay.
I felt there's a reason I'm in soils and not plants.
Okay. So when we cross two wheat lines, right, you get an F1, which is basically the child. So we take the child and we put it through a process where it only has the genetic material of the mother plant. So then you take the father's genetic material out of it. We use a process called the corn pollination method. So we use corn pollen to really trick the wheat plant into going through another round of cell division. And then we only carry forward the genetic material of the mother plant. And so then we create a very pure line that the breeder knows exactly the genetic material that's in that. And then they can make decisions on what they take that mother to cross it to another father and move it forward.
So I want to try to even dumb it down a little bit further if you can say whether I'm right or not. So if we look at it, a breeder makes two crosses, and they come with that. Every head of that cross, they have multiple berries in there. And then they take each of those berries. If we aren't doing the double haploid, they take each one of those berries and basically plant a hedgerow.
Right.
And so you're looking at that hedgerow, and that hedgerow has a lot of crossing itself, that single head, each berry has different things that are going along within that head row. But then that one head row comes up, and then it's pollinating with other wheat around it because it's not a self. What you're able to do is get that plant that comes up from that head row, basically get genetics in that seed from that head row that doesn't allow it to pollinate. It's not being pollinated by another thing, and now diluting the original genetics.
That's right. So we're taking some of the genetic diversity that the wheat has in it. And so when a breeder finds something in a particular line that they really like, let's say it's yield enhancement, let's say it's some sort of disease resistance, then we can reduce all of that diversity down and let them focus on that one trait, that one plant from that one seed that carries that physical characteristic, and then we can make that a very pure line, and then they can go and move it forward.
So is there numbers you can put to it on how many, if you look at a wheat breeder, how many less
generations
well, not even generations. So I'm thinking if you go F1, how many F1, F2 blocks that a breeder's having to put out because they're still looking at all those combos?
So we like to look at it as if you're just doing traditional crossing, it'll take 10 to 12 years from that initial cross to get to something that is pure enough to go to a producer.
Yeah.
So we like to reduce that in half with our technology because you're taking away about 5 generations, let's say, of back crossing and out crossing in this 1 year of double haploid production, and then they can go straight to the field with that. And when they plant that seed, it should look identical to the mother plant. And then they can select the things that they want to move forward with. And so we like to say that we're cutting the time in half.
Yeah.
But you can also pair double haploid technology with other breeding techniques and reduce that even further. Speed breeding, single seed descent. There's so many other things that you can package all of that together and really provide the wheat breeder with lots of tools. And we can do all of that for breeders. And sometimes breeding programs, they're limited in resources. They just need to outsource some of that, and that's what we can do for them.
So what's the speed breeding approach? What is that?
Yeah, that's looking at altering kind of your growth area in controlled environment and with different lighting, with different temperatures, and you can speed up the process a little bit.
You can test a lot more areas.
You can.
I'm air quoting on a freaking podcast with no video.
Great, yeah.
Air quotes. You can. And I remember when I was a youngster, and it's something that Art Klatt did a lot.
Oh, yes.
He would. Now it wasn't in that, but he was sending genetics to Mexico. So while he was getting a run in Stillwater, he would push them to either South Texas or into Mexico and basically get 2 turns.
Wow.
We did that a lot with the sensor technology. Is that we would make a run in Stillwater and Oklahoma wheat, and then come down into Mexico in the Yaqui Valley and do another run. So we're getting 2 years, 2 iterations of wheat production under a single cropping season for Oklahoma.
And let me just give a shout out to Art Klatt. When I was going to school at OSU, he worked at the Office of International Programs, and I was a student employee there. So I met up with him before he went back to wheat breeding, and he's just an incredible individual, by the way. But yes, you can do that with single seed descent, where you get 2 generations in a given year. And so, we're fortunate we have some tools now for wheat breeding that can help accelerate this.
So is that, in essence, that's why we're able to see wheat breeders have more releases per season now versus the
That's
80s.
right. Yes. That's definitely the case. And we have seen really, we need a lot more, of course, but we've seen really an increase and an influx of varieties that's been really good for producers because of these tools, they can do it faster.
How long has this technology really been moving forward? I mean, because this is, to me, it sounds like this is fairly new.
Well, the double-haploid technology has been around for a very, very long time. But most recently, in the last 15 to 20 years, has it been used for wheat. But really, double haploids were found in the 1940s, and corn and other crops have really taken advantage of it. Wheat, we've been a little bit behind there, but we finally are catching up, and we're fortunate at HPI that we have some very skilled and experienced individuals that have been working on this for a number of years, and so we're very happy to provide this service to wheat breeders in the industry.
Who are your clients? And you said wheat breeders, so you kind of is in my head, so I still had to say it, but talk about your clientele.
So anybody who is involved in crop improvement. So whether that be public breeding programs, whether it be private companies that have germplasm development, and we also work with other crops other than wheat. Wheat's probably about 90 to 95% of what we do, but we've worked with sorghum, we've worked with oats, we've worked with triticale. And so, we're really working with anybody who's interested in improving those crops. Crops important to Kansas, Oklahoma, the Great Plains. I mean, we even have customers from Southeast United States. So we've had international customers as well.
Wow.
It's really hard to send seeds across borders today, more so than ever. So that's not a lot of our business, but we're a global company. We'll help anybody who needs to improve wheat lines or crop lines.
And where are you based out of?
Manhattan, Kansas. We're located in the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center, right on the campus of Kansas State University, and so we're fortunate to have the facilities there that we can have these services available.
Usually by now,
right? We see it up, and
this was your point to join
we bounce it back and forth, and then Braden's over there focusing. He's got his question, and then he's ready to go.
Okay, Braden, hit me. What's a good question?
I don't have one. I'm just plant breeding flashbacks. Slight sadness.
As a soil scientist, he did have Brett Carver on his committee as a PhD, and so that was mean to him.
Yeah.
He is still recovering emotionally.
Yeah, for sure.
From trying to understand that.
Yeah. One of my questions, in fact, was explaining double haploid technology in my written comps.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And that was,
well, it's a very complex production system. I tried to streamline it a little bit, but I mean, it takes. You have 2 vernalization periods for winter wheat. You have wheat going through a number of different iterations, but the idea is that you trick the wheat into another round of cell division, creating a new embryo that's haploid, half the chromosomes of its parent, and then we chemically double it, and then it becomes a really pure genetic line.
Well, and what things folks don't necessarily realize is the wheat plant is a very complex. I mean, on a molecular level, it's a very complex.
There's 3 different genomes that come together to make common bred wheat.
Wow!
And then you have multiple copies of each of those.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it is very genetically complex. It's probably one of the larger genomes, definitely in crops, but it's larger than the human genome.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot going on there, and so that's why it's so difficult at times to do improvement, because it is so complex, and you have genes that are doing nothing, you have genes that are masking other genes, and I'm no geneticist, but it's
and some that aren't even mapped to begin with.
Exactly. Exactly. So very complex and lots going on.
So you could pass this off to Aaron later, but I want to pitch you the question, because in the news right now we're hearing so much about eating wheat from Europe because it's GMO free. Versus, I can grow up in the U.S. and bread impacts me, but when I go to Italy, I can go eat wheat. I can eat bread in Italy because the wheat's bred differently over there. It's GMO free. Have you heard this one?
I've heard lots of things. I mean, HPI was created to advance biotech. So just giving you that little lead into my answer about, I like to look at it as genetically enhanced. I think there's a lot we can do with biotechnology and other tools to make wheat better and maybe even more nutritious and maybe even disease fighting if we were just to kind of open up our minds and think about the good things that technology can do. So, I don't really buy into the whole let's eat everything that's GMO free because I believe in science.
I think right here you need to clarify that wheat's not genetically modified in the U.S.
There's not
in
the market.
And also and it was that we do not produce. The science has GMO modified wheat, but the double-haploid, it's not a genetic modification.
No.
It's actually, it's still almost traditional breeding in the sense that you're still making your traditional cross. You have a wheat crossed with a wheat.
Yes. And so I think, we do use corn as a pollinator, but we know, and we test this periodically, that we know that there is no genetic material from corn that ever enters into that new wheat embryo that's created in the process.
Right.
So it is just wheat.
It is just wheat. You're maintaining the purity of that first cross.
That's correct.
That's all the fancy terminology of double haploid, and people hear this talk and it seems very genetically modified, and all they think that term is really not. It's stopping the next crossing from potentially happening.
That's correct. And so, double haploids really wasn't on our list of things to do in the beginning when we were created in 2009 because we wanted to advance biotech.
Yeah.
But we know that the complexity of all of that, wheat is being very cautious about it, and rightly so. So we just kind of had to transition, and this was a technology that we could implement that wouldn't be GMO.
Very interesting. So you obviously are in constant conversation with wheat breeders like Alan Fritz,
Brett Carver,
all of them. How do they approach you in those situations? Do they say, this is something that we're really wanting to, we're really looking for this area in a cross or something like that, or is it just they bring you the variety and then?
It can be both because, and I'll use Brett Carver as an example. We've done a number of projects with Brett where we've combined different technologies and services to get to where he wanted to be. So yes, we would have a conversation with him, and he would tell us what he has and what he's trying to do, and then we would create. Okay, this is how we can get there.
Yeah.
And so we have that. We have just the service component where a breeder sends us seeds and says we want this many double haploids, and we do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even know what's in the background.
Right.
We don't know the parents or anything like that. So we do both, and so we just want to whatever we can do to help the breeder along. That's what we do.
Shaving time off of
That's correct.
Off of the breed.
Creating value. We want to create value. If a breeder came to us and said, hey, we want to do a full search of all of the wild relatives to find a new trait. We'd figure out how to do that and aid the breeder. So in addition to double haploids, we can do other things. And so we just want to add value to the process.
That's cool.
I have a question, but it's going to go sidetrack, which is what I do.
Oh, go ahead.
You have
Drayden, you got one?
Go.
No, Drayden, you good?
Well, so, it's really going to sidetrack, but this is more personal, Dusty. Is that your process of getting to where you're at, right? Can you talk about how you ended up being in the position and
So, I've already mentioned I'm a native Oklahoman. My family lives in Southwest Oklahoma.
Right.
And so I went to Oklahoma State and got both my bachelor's and master's in Ag Econ. And during that time, I was exposed to what happened in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
So I wanted to explore that route. So my advisor helped me. I had some mentors that had done the same thing, and so I just wanted to see what it was all about. So my first job out of college was working at USDA, and so I did the wheat analysis. So you have the monthly supply and demand estimates that come out. I was involved in that process. I worked a little bit in trade policy, and then I got connected with some people from the Kansas wheat industry and the International Grains Program when I was doing some traveling. And so they said, hey, why don't you think about coming to Kansas? And there's this job opening. And so I took a leap of faith, and it would happen to be with the Kansas Wheat Commission.
Oh, cool.
So I spent almost 10 years with the Kansas Wheat Commission. Then I kind of deviated away from wheat, did a little stint with sorghum, the United Sorghum Checkout Program, and then wanted to kind of move back into wheat. And so that's when I reconnected with HPI, because I was involved in helping to create HPI when I was with the Wheat Commission. And so they hired me as a consultant, and I worked on sorghum for a little bit, and then it just kind of just transitioned into needing a new leader there. And so I was very happy because I felt so passionate about HPI and what HPI was doing and the wheat industry, and so I got to come back.
See, Radon, an economist, can talk science. Radon's former, and that's because I knew your background wasn't breeding genetics.
I'm not far from where you grew. I grew up in Lokiba.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So
okay.
yeah.
And he has a bachelor's in ag econ.
Okay, yeah. So that gives you a great business background, and then
he
you can
like
go on.
No, the conversations we have. That's more of a personal thing. That's not your training.
All of my research and breeding experience is on the job training and learning, and it's been fascinating to me. I've enjoyed it. I do tend to like science, but I do like the social science. That's where ag econ comes in. But yeah, you can. It's a great foundation for whatever you want to do. Ag econ is
for sure. I'll go back to the science.
Okay,
if you're done.
Yeah, I don't mind the social aspect.
All right, so we keep hearing about hybridization in wheat.
Right.
What does HPI do anything in that realm as far as, obviously you can combine double haploid technology, hybridization, all these things. Kind of what do y'all get into that? And are y'all working in hybridization technology and things like that right now?
We have the short answer is yes. Okay. We're working with some private industry partners who wanted to explore a little bit and just to see if we could come up with a reliable economic solution to wheat. And so it's a little bit harder for wheat, but I'm going to say we've dabbled in it a little bit. So there are still some companies that are pushing it, that are working really hard to get it done in wheat, and so we've helped them a little bit in doing so.
For sure, I think we've been hearing about it for a long time, and it's just kind of You're like, okay, well, is it when, if, what does it mean for it to come out? And so it's just interesting to me.
I don't think we have all those answers yet, to be honest.
For sure. So.
I just might mention that I'm here today to talk about HB4. I don't know if you've had a chance to explore that a little bit.
Let's do a little HB4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. So HB4 is the first biotech trait that's been deregulated in the United States. And so it offers a couple advantages: drought tolerance. It's a herbicide-resistant trait package. And so there is a lot of work that's been done by Colorado to get started working with this trait and evaluating it. And so HPI is positioning ourselves to be the entity that works with the trait so that we can keep it contained.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't need to be contained because it's deregulated, it's been safe, it's been proven to be, just like a normal trait.
Right.
But given the sensitivities around biotech wheat, we want to treat it as if it's regulated. Yeah. So we are making plans at HPI to have really containment facilities where we can work with all the states who want to get the trait in their germplasm. And so we can all do it under one roof in one spot, and we can really mitigate any potential risk of commingling. So we're talking about that today. We're not quite there yet. We had hoped that maybe we would be starting to work on it this summer, maybe in a month or two. There's still agreements and things being discussed and arranged between everyone, Bioceres, who is the owner of the trait. And so we're here to talk about that today, and hopefully farmers will ask us really good questions and they'll get engaged in the discussion.
It really is a whole new horizon for the potential, crosses and potential varieties to come.
Yeah. Well, we're excited about it because this kind of takes us back to our roots as HPI, because we were created to advance biotech, and now we might be able to work with the first deregulated biotech trait in the U.S. for wheat. So we're very excited about it. We think that this may open the door for future technologies and whatever we haven't even thought of yet. So we're very excited about it.
Well, Dusty, thank you so much for going on with us.
Thank you for the lunch and the invitation.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure talking. I love talking about what we do at HPI, so anytime.
Thank you for listening in on this conversation of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. And if you'd like to join the next discussion, leave us a message on our website, reddirtagronomy.com. Or you can always send us a tweet. Our handle is reddirtag. We'd like to thank Dusti Gallagher of Heartland Plant Innovations for joining us this week on the podcast. And again, if you get a chance, visit our website, reddirtagronomy.com, to find out more information about all of our guests and any of the resources that we discussed today or on previous podcasts. For Dr. Brian Arnell and Dr. Radon Sherry, I am Dave Deacon, and we all want to thank you for listening. The proceeding is a copyrighted recording of Agnow Media LLC 2025. And yes, all rights are reserved.